Alright, my 12 volt fridge here stopped working yesterday. I am getting this error. From what I looked up, that means the sensor I think is shorted or open. I have to check the page again I found. Technically that's supposed to mean it will run 30 minutes every hour and shut off 30 minutes every hour. Some screws on the bottom of this. We gotta take it out, open this up, try to find out where the sensor is located. There are no holes or spots inside that I can see where the sensor would be, unlike that one there. It has one in the inside in the middle right about here. So I don't know where the sensor is located in this. Hopefully I can open this, and I can find the wire for the sensor. I am guessing it goes up here somewhere, but I'll have to try to get this open. I don't know if I can. There's the list of error codes I found. ER0 means temperature sensor short circuit, and it says it will work for 30 minutes and stop for 30 minutes, which means the unit will still keep running. It's just not going to pretty much tell you anything, so I don't really need it to. And it tells you to fix it, you have to change the temperature sensor line. Alright, I've got the cover off. There's 5 screws, 2 in the front, 3 in the bottom, 1 in the back. The 3 in the back are longer screws. The 2 in the front are shorter screws. And in order to get that panel off, you have to take off this wheel. There's a little spring lock and a washer, the wheel, and there's another washer on the back side of it. So I got that off. And can't really see much information here. I am thinking this here is the temperature sensor line, but I could be wrong. But it does go up here towards the main control up there, so that would make sense. And the sensor wire could be down in here somewhere. Who knows where exactly. But I will have to check that. But all I know for sure yesterday is I found my pick-around power station. It was completely off. I have no idea why it shut off, but when I turned it back on, this was showing error. So I'm guessing either got too hot because it's been about 100 degrees every day here recently, or something with this failing caused it to trip. I don't know why it would, but I mean, it still works. When I turn it back on, nothing happened. The power station stayed on. So I don't know. Obviously it didn't trip the little Go Labs, which is much smaller. This right here is a temperature. It's a copper line. There's the coil. Here's the fan wires there. This is the fuse to the main inlet here. Power plug. Obviously that's still good because it still runs. This is the main control that operates everything, and that has a bunch of wires that go up. These are the only wires that don't go to this. And I know the temperature controller is up here. This is what, where it's on where it shuts on and off. So I don't think I have to open the whole thing up. I do have to try to figure out how I'm going to access this. I don't know how that's going to work. I gotta get a flashlight and see. But I can unplug it right here with this plug. probably need both hands for that, but you can unplug it there. So it's very possible that you could pull this out, and of course you have to find out where it goes in back there to try to thread a new one in. But if that's all it is, I can try to put one of my other ones in here to trick it into thinking it's good, and go from there. But I'm gonna try. Oh, I can turn this light on. Okay, it goes down just past that controller. It does not go down far enough to see the wire down there. So I'm guessing it does a little bend and goes in here. It looks like there's a screw right there. I should be able to get to. Hopefully it's the only one. Okay, got the main control board off. Apparently it has a plug. You just pull that up and then out, and that sits inside a cavity right there. And yep, right there's where that wire goes in, and it can pull it out. It might not go very far at all. That is some sort of butyl tape, I think. That is roughly 14 inches long. And that is definitely a temperature sensor. The number on this is not a part number. It's like the part number to this wire heat shrink or shielding tube. That's what that's for. I looked it up and it's on something else on eBay that has the exact same numbers and everything. So that is not a part number at all, and I can't find one on this anywhere, of course. I am going to try and find the ones I bought a while ago to fix the sensor, and that one of course didn't work. I want to try to see if I can do that. I might have to switch the end of it out with this one to make it plug in. I did ohm this out and it's reading 521 ohms low. That's why it's saying it's shorted. Okay. I have 14k ohms from the plug back up to the control board. I'm guessing that's normal, but I don't know. It was easy to find the temperature sensor on this one. Let's see if I can find those. Actually, right here. Definitely have to change the plug on them, but I will try one of these. These are, I think, 10k resistors. Pretty much cut this off and put the other one on. I might have to cut the wires and solder them together to make it work, but alright. Well, this one reads 5k ohms. The other one was reading 500 ohms. I am pretty sure it's a 10k resistor too, but I don't know what it's actually rated for. But I went out and got my heat shrink with a little bit of solder in there. Grab my heat gun. I'm gonna put this together that way, and then see if this will actually allow it to work properly again. This is too big to fit in the hole where the other sensor was, so I'm not going to be using it to actually keep control of the fridge, because this won't work for that. And I might be able to get that little pipe the other one went into out and maybe fit this in there, but I'm just going to use the 12 volt control I bought to control it. But with this, all you have to do is put these together, grab my helping hands. That way I can hold each one. I'll do one at a time. It's much easier to do that. Got it connected. And now just to plug this back in, see if the error code goes away. And well, if it does, I'm just going to button this all back together and see how long it works. Alright, the new sensor definitely fixed the sensor issue. It's now reading 104 instead of ER0. I do have it just sitting right here. Sit out in the open. I don't know. This resistor on this is a 10K, and it might be too much for the control to read properly. I'm not too worried about it reading it right. Bought a pack of 3 of these. I used one on my other one trying to repair it. It didn't fix the issue. It's still reading different. So this at least fixes the error code, and hopefully it lasts a lot longer than the old one, or the original one to this, because that one didn't last very long at all. Pretty sure I said it already, but this piece right here is too big to fit inside the hole, so you know, just I get another one that's the right size for it. And it just kicked on. It's been running long enough to cool off. Ground pressure is running. Very quiet. Little. Don't know if you can see that in there. The little computer fan for the condenser is on and running. So glad I had those. I have one more if this fails anytime soon. But now I should be able to maintain it using this controller as I've been doing. I have to put the sensor back inside there so it actually reads the proper temperature. Because right now it's just reading room temperature. But that was a pretty easy fix. These things I've had for over a year. This is the first time I used these white ones because these wires are so small. And it worked very nice. So I used the yellow ones and I think some of the red ones. I don't know if I already got any blue ones. I probably got some of them, so I probably used blue and yellow in my trailer before. But those work good. My old heat gun that came with this some heat shrink was never hot enough to melt the solder in this. That's why I bought this Harbor Freight Bauer brand one. That works great. I used it in medium speed fan at the highest setting to melt the solder, and that was about 1,000 watts of power to run it there. Alright, well, it's still showing temperature and no error code, so the sensor was definitely the problem, and that fixed it. I'll do the rest of this off camera. I'm going to try to get that in the hole back there, which you can't see because I put the controller back up there, and I have to get this all back together. So I'll try that next. If it doesn't work, fine. I can just set this back inside here anywhere, just like that if I want to. Not a big problem. And I just have to close this all up. So, alright, thanks for watching.